Hey guys, welcome back on my YouTube channel, and this is day 17, and today I'm gonna talk about properties. Okay guys, so guys, properties are what? Any variables, or you know what, yeah, any kind of variable, if you are declaring a variable with var, let. Okay, so if you are declaring a variable within a structure or classes, those variables are nothing but those are properties. Okay guys, so let's say we have an example of this. Okay, this employee structure. So we have a EID and we have a company name. Okay guys, and one is our variable and one other is what guys, our constant. Okay, so these two things are what guys, these are the properties. Okay, the properties are divided into two categories, like stored properties and computed properties. Okay guys, so stored properties are nothing but these are those properties which are going to be used only to hold the data. Are you getting my point? Means directly we are going to store the data into stored properties. So as we have seen this example, in this example employee ID and the company name are what? Stored properties. Okay guys, so these are what? Stored properties. So guys, these are the variables which are going to be associated at the time of creation of our instance. Okay guys, so when our instance will be created, these variables will be these variables will going to be associated with our instance. Are you getting my point, what I'm trying to say here? Okay, so let's move on the another kind of property, that is lazy stored properties. Okay, so this is a subcategory of stored properties. So if you declare a variable as lazy, okay, so if you declare a variable as lazy within a structure or class, then it will not occupy the memory directly. Means if we are declaring a variable ename with type string, then it's gonna take the memory at the time of initialization, right? And as well as in the case of company name. But if we are declaring a variable as lazy, as you can see guys, I have mentioned the lazy keyword in the front of our stored properties, and the lazy keyword we cannot use with the keyword. Okay guys, this means that what guys, we cannot declare a constant as a lazy property. Okay, so a variable stored properties can be of type lazy. Okay, and the lazy property is going to be initialized at the first time use. Okay, means let's say we have created this class, and this is the thing, and we are creating the instance of this class. Okay guys, so because we are creating the instance of this class, it will allocate memory to these two variables. Okay, and this variable will not be allocated, or you can say this variable will not be initialized until unless we are not using this variable in our code. Okay, so let's say if we are going to so as you can see guys, we are printing ename, so it is saying what, until now eid is not initialized yet, but whenever we are going to print eid, it's gonna initialize. Why? Because the lazy property says what guys, the lazy property says the property will be initialized at the time of first use. Okay, so whenever your first request will be for a lazy property, in that case your lazy property is going to be initialized. Okay guys, so I hope clear clarity about it, what I'm trying to say here. So guys, basically I'm not going to do any code for this because I don't think this is required, because in the earlier sessions we have seen about structures, classes, in that we have created some properties, and those properties are nothing but stored properties. Okay, so and lazy properties, as I have told you what is the lazy properties. So guys, let's say if you are using a variable that is not going to be used or that may be rarely used, in that case you can declare that property as lazy. Okay guys, because this is not mandatory or recommended to give the memory without usage of that thing. Okay, so let's jump on the next topic, and the next is computed properties. So guys, these are the properties which are the main function of these properties are not to store the values directly. Basically these properties are used to calculate the values and then store the values. Okay guys, so these variables are basically used to perform the calculation, and after that initialize in the variable. Okay, so let's take one example to understand it. So guys, this is the day 17 playground and this is our code. So let's understand this code one by one, one line by one. Okay, so we have a structure point, and this is going to be take x and y coordinate, and another one is size structure. This will going to be take width and height, and there is one more structure, that is rect structure. So we have instance of point and also size. Okay guys, and there is a property that is center. So guys, as you can see, this center is the type of point, means this center is going to store a value of type point, means in other words we can say it is going to be stored an instance of point. Are you getting my point, what I'm trying to say here? And we have given a curly braces a block. Okay, so in this block we are going to calculate the value of center. Okay, so guys, we have given a getter method and we have given a setter. Okay guys, so as you can see guys, in the getter what we are doing here, we are trying to we are trying to calculate the center of center x and center y of a rectangle, you can say. Okay, so basically we have a origin and we have a size. So we are how we can get the origins x and y. First of all, we are going to get the origin x. Okay, and after that I'm going to calculate the half of the width, and same as for height, and then we are calculating the x and y. So this will be what, center x and center y, and after that we are getting point instance and we are returning. So this point is going to be initialized to this center. I hope clear clarity about it. Okay, but if we want to calculate new center for new x and y, okay, because the height width we want to make the same, but we want to give the point as different, means origin x and y. In that case, if we want to set the new value to center, so we are going to give a point. As you can see, the point is getting here, okay, in the setter method, and we are getting the new center, and we are going to calculate the origin x and origin y, and this calculation, as you know, we have performed in the above statement. So we are going to calculate the new origin x and y. Okay, so as you can see guys, we have created a rect for square, we have passed a point and the size. Okay, and we are going to calculate the square dot center, as you can see guys, and this center will be going this center is going to be calculated here in the getter. Okay, and it will return a center point to this variable, and we can print this variable. And after that, what we are going to do, we are going to set a new center. Okay, how? We are giving a new origin x and y, means just we are changing this thing. Okay, so it's gonna calculate the new center. Okay, so I hope clear clarity about it, what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so I'm not going into deep, so be careful about it. So let's jump on the next topic, and next topic is the shorthand setter declaration. So guys, if you don't want to give the setter like this, means whatever the argument you are getting, if you don't want to declare here, then you can directly write here, instead of new center you can directly write new value. Okay, so by default each and every value, whatever the argument you are going to pass to the center, each and every value will be treated as new value. Okay, so you can use the new value instead of new center. Okay, so let me run and show you. So let's run it. So guys, as you can see, it is successfully calculated the new origin. Okay, so this is the way, this is the shortened way of the setter. Okay guys, so I hope clear to all of you what I'm trying to say here. And another one is read only computed properties. Okay, so if you are going to declare only the getter for a center, then it will be what, read only properties, means you cannot set the value here. Okay, so let me show you how you can define the read only properties. So instead of doing this, what we can do here, okay, let me comment all the code and let me show you by taking a struct. So this is a struct, and we are going to calculate the power. Okay, and in this what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take a variable as power 5. Okay, so power 5, just for demonstration purpose. Okay guys, and what we want here guys, this will be a integer value. Okay, and we want to make it as a computer property, so we are going to put the our curly braces, okay, block, and in this we want to return what guys, we want to return only 5 into 5. Okay, so as you can see guys, if you are defining a property like this, then this will be a computer property, but it always gonna return a value, means it we are not able to set the values. This is the read only property, means we can read the data only from this property. Okay, so I hope clear clarity about it what I'm trying to say here. So let's create instance of this structure. Okay, and let's print a dot power 5 and let's run it. So as you can see guys, it is printing 25, and if I'm trying to initialize the new value, so let's see what happens. So guys, as you can see, it is saying cannot assign the property power 5. Power 5 is a get only property. Okay, means just we are giving the getter. Are you getting my point? So this is the way how you can define the read only properties. Okay, so guys, basically these are the some theoretical concepts which you should have knowledge in the interview room. Okay guys, so let's jump on the next topic, that is property observer. So guys, you can set a property observer on a property so that whenever the value will be changed of a property, you can perform some calculations. Okay, so let me take one example here and let's understand the property observer. Okay, so this is the very important concept guys for the interview room. Okay, so as you can see, we have a class that is a step counter, and there is a variable that is total steps, and in this total steps basically I'm going to store the 0 value, but I'm going to define some will set and did set observers. Okay, so as you can see guys, how we can set the observers. So will set gonna execute just before changing the value. Okay, and did set after the new value. Okay, after assigning the new value. So as you can see guys, whenever we are going to initialize a new value to this total steps, then first of all will set statements gonna execute, and after that the did set block statements is going to be calculated. Okay guys, so as you can see guys, if we are okay, so if we are setting like this step counter, so as you can see guys, the step counter is we have instantiated, and we are giving our initial value to total steps as 200. Okay guys, so if we are initializing a new value, then as you can see, first of all it's gonna call this line, and then it's gonna call this line. So it's this is how you can do the things. So it gonna calculate the differentiation of the total steps plus the old minus old values. Okay, so this is how you can set the observers, property observers. These are the very little concepts basically. Okay, so no need to consume the more time, you can do it by yourself also. So these are the very very easy things. So let's and guys, as you can see how we are getting the old values. So this is the if you are writing the did set block, then you can use your previous value as old value. Okay, so by default it is going to be return the old value of the particular variable. Okay, so these variables. Okay, so as we have seen the new value concept in this. Okay, in the computer properties. Okay, so I hope clear clarity about it, and let's jump on the next topic, that is global and local variables. So guys, this is the very easy thing. So if you are creating a variable within function, method, closure or block, then that variable will be known as global. Okay, sorry, local. If you are declaring a variable outside of these, then those variables will be treated as global variable. So the definition is already clear to all of you. So what it is trying to say. Okay, so next is type properties. So type properties sometimes known as static properties. Okay, and this is basically used to hold the common data for all instance. Okay, so as we know that whenever we are creating an instance variable, it will be the duplicate copy. So it will create the duplicate copy for each instance. Are you getting my point? Let's understand it by example. So let me take one example. So guys, we have a class employee, and you can take a structure also. Okay, so let me take a variable like eid, and the eid is initially I'm going to give as 0. Okay, so guys, I'm going to create a variable of type employee. Okay, so let me initialize the instantiation, and even dot eid I'm going to give as 78, and in the same way I'm going to create another instance. Okay guys, as you can see guys, and we are going to give the another value. Okay, and if we print the value of these two instance eid, then see what happens. Okay, so let me copy and paste it here, and let me change as 2. Okay, so let's run it. So guys, as you can see, the eid for these two instances are different. Okay, but if we are creating this variable as type variable. Okay, so let me take another variable, that is our type variable. Okay, so e name or company name, we can take company. Okay, and company is ABC. Okay guys, so if you are creating instance variable, then this variable's copy will be created for each instance. Okay, means if any one instance is going to change in its copy, then it will not be reflected to other variables, or sorry, other instances. Okay, so let's say after printing, if we are going to change the e1 dot eid, then it will not going to give the impact on the e2. Okay, so let me print the e2 dot eid. So guys, if I print the e2 dot eid, then what it will be print? It will print 99. Okay, so 99. Okay guys, as you can see. So this is the instance variables. So if we are creating a type variable, okay, type variable means static variables. Okay guys, so if you are creating a static variables, then this value will be same for each instance, means it will create only a single copy at class level. Are you getting my point? This variable will be created only one time at a class level. Okay, and the copy will not be created for each instance. So if any one instance is going to change into this variable, then it will be reflected for all other instances. Okay guys, so let's take one example. So let's say e1 is going to change company. Okay, so let me take the company as XYZ, and let's run it. Sorry. Okay, so this is a static member actually guys. So we cannot write the instance variable here. We need to write the, you know what, your structure or class name. Okay, so let's say, so guys, this is what your type variable. Okay, so if you want to access this variable values, then you should have to mention your class name or structure name, and then you can access your variable. So these are the type variables. Okay, so static keyword is used to declare the type variables. Okay, so this is the way how you can create your type variables. Okay, so let's see, is there any other topic? I hope there is no topic. So guys, I hope I have covered all the topics related to properties. And guys, if you like my video, then hit the like button. If you don't like, then you can dislike also. And if you are having any problem or misunderstanding about any concept, then you can comment in the comment section. I will try to resolve them. Thank you for watching this video. uh, happy coding, have a nice day.